What's up, everybody? I'm Jamie. This is Blades and EDC, and this is going to be part 2 to my epic unboxing videos of Saigon Kicks knives, Craig's knives. And it's been 14 hours since I did the first unboxing, and the 3 knives that I've unboxed out of his unboxing, that first box, that haven't left my hands are this Tucson Ts216. I love this thing. I love the ergos. It's thick, it's beefy. Feels really good in hand. But since I've done that unboxing, these 3 knives here, that one, the Swabs rendition, I believe is the name of it. This thing is so good. It's so smooth. This is another one I'm having trouble putting down, and I will be buying my first Swabs very soon. There's actually one dropping next week, the Ultramar Sangre, I think it is. It has a Warncliffe blade, but it doesn't have thumb studs. It's just flipper only, so I'm kind of torn, but I think it looks like I could fit some thumb studs on it, but I'm sure the stock's going to be so thick the quick studs won't fit, so kind of torn with that one. I think I may just look for one of these, because this thing right here is super, super slick. Really like this. And then the last one that I haven't been able to put down, and this is one that's been in my hand the most since I did that unboxing, so much so that my finger's sore, and I'm using my middle finger now. This shark lock, it's sharp on my finger right here. I guess you'll build up, a callus to it. You're doing enough, but my index finger is getting sore from fidgeting with this thing. And something else I noticed right there. I'll review this knife for sure, and there's a lot of reviews out there, but you gotta be careful with this one. If you fail the deployment, it's coming back at you. That shark lock's gonna pull that thing back at you, so you gotta be careful. I'm actually gonna open the other box with this knife, so I don't think Craig would mind me cutting some tape on his own box with it. He actually told me I could disassemble one of these, disassemble this, and take a look at what's going on the inside. And I'm going to do that because I'm really curious how that is set up in there. All right, now I'm gonna pull the box off camera to set the packages up here again because I only have so much space. So, all right, just like the other box, packaged very, very well. I think I may be anodizing that concept convict that was in the other unboxing also. Got to confirm that with Craig, but yeah, I think that knife will take a really nice anode. I'm curious if he wants to do it, just leave it like a stonewash finish, or if he wants to put a gloss finish on it, a high gloss finish on it. All right, so let's see, where should we start? I know there's some Tucson front flippers in here I'm super excited about. Can't remember the numbers of them, but this is the Tucson Ts128. So let's check this one out first. I remember this one because of those giant thumb studs. I've looked at this one online quite a bit, actually. And that blade shape, too. Yeah, that's right up my alley. And man, that milling, this one's oiled up good. Get a little bit of that oil off the handle there. D2, that's why he's got it oiled so good. Because a lot of these he's just had in storage, and with it being D2, you definitely want to keep it nice and lubed up. So, yeah. I like the look of this and the feel of this, actually. I bet those thumb studs come out too pretty easily. Looks like it's just a T8 holding them in there. So if you didn't want the thumb studs and wanted to reverse flick it, you can reverse flick it with them in there though, pretty easily. Okay. This is one I wasn't sure about that I've looked at several times online, and I've almost bought this knife several times. Now this is why, man, we really need knife shops. You know what I mean? We really need knife shops again. We can go pick up knives and see how they feel. Because I hate buying a knife, like from White Mountain Knives or something, and getting it and not liking it and then sending it back. I don't know. I feel like that's just because I don't like the way it feels in my hand, sending it back. I don't feel good about doing that. It's like that Arion, I didn't get that from White Mountain. I got that from Blade HQ, but I'm not going to return it. I bought it. My decision to buy it. I shouldn't return it to you, make you sell it at a discounted rate because I don't like the way it feels in my hand, Now, if it had a flaw, then that's a different story, but there's nothing wrong with it. So, man, I like this a lot. I would probably take that thumb stud out of there if it comes off. Actually, that's going to leave a hole in the blade. I thought that maybe the hole would just be bigger behind it, but no. The blade, the cutout ends right where that thumb stud's at. So you're just going to have a hole through the blade there if you take it out. And this is a wang design. I like this though. This is right up my alley. Blade shape, the ergos. This is like the nimble with the big finger choil, or some of the Spydercos. Love this. Yeah, that's a good one for sure. And you know, Craig doesn't like colors that much. He prefers monochromic. I think that is more black and white, silver. But I can already, with the milling in this, and the way this is cut out here, you got a flat here, you got this cut out, and then you got this milling. You could do some killer anodizing patterns on this knife, and the back spacer too. Yeah, this one could be, and it's got great action. Yeah, that's a winner already for me. Like that a lot. Pull that box over here so I don't mix all these up. I'm literally in knives up to my neck right now. It's not a complaint though. I'll take this one away. All right, what do we have here? This is another Tucson Ts116 front flipper. This is one of the ones I was really excited to get in hand because I really like front flippers. Man, it's slick. That carbon fiber is slick. That's shred carbon fiber, I think is what you'd call that. Not my favorite pattern of carbon fiber, but I do like it. I can feel a little, this side, the fit and finish, the transition from the titanium to the carbon fiber is very, very good. This side over here, oh, that's because it's a lock bar. What am I talking about? Up here, yeah, it's really good. That was just where the lock bar was at, so of course you're gonna feel it there. Man, that's a good looking knife too. I love the grind lines. Horizontal on both, on the flats and on the blade. Interesting. M390 on this one. Really good front flipping action. Tell you what they need to do for sure, or someone, the owner would need to do, in my opinion. Oh, you can. This is really sharp right here in the lock bar. Problem is, the lock bar insert is actually there right where you're pushing the lock bar over. I guess you could file that down a little bit too, but it's pretty sharp on that edge right there where my thumb is hitting. Reverse slick's good. Yeah, if I bought this knife, I would definitely be taking my Dremel right here and rounding this edge off some. It's pretty sharp, but badass looking knife. Yeah, good front flipper for sure. All right, I can't spend too, I'm gonna try to keep this video at least to 30 minutes. I'm gonna try. All right, next up. See what else is in here. Actually, let's go ahead and do this one first. This is a knife I currently own already, but I got mine in D2, and this one is 14C28N, if I remember correctly. And I think he is selling this one, and if so, I think I'm buying this one from him because I love this knife. This is probably the most ergonomic knife in my collection. The Tucson Ts-216. Yeah. Mine is D2, and I love this thing. This thing feels so good in my hand. And this one is, yeah, 14C28N. So I think I'm buying this one from him, as long as he is still selling it. He's used this one a little bit, I can tell. Blade finish is a little different too. If you look at mine right here on the flats, there's horizontal grind lines. See that? Hopefully it shows up on the camera. But his looks more, on the flats, they stonewashed it or blasted it. See that? They did it differently. The rest of the lines look the same. Clip looks the same. Carbon fiber is slightly different. Mine's got a little more gray in it. His is darker. My micarta is a little lighter than his. Yeah, the carbon fiber is a little different. I prefer the carbon fiber in mine, honestly, the look of it, but it's not a big deal. Everything else is very, very similar. Yeah, I think I'm buying this one from him. And if that does go through, I will be selling this one. And I'll cut one. You guys a really good deal on if you want it. I've had no real issues with the D2, so. And this is, like I said, as far as ergos go, this is about as good as it gets for me. Right here. All right, Ts301. And his is just as drop shutty as mine is. Well, not quite. But I think this has just been sitting in storage and not been getting any flipping. So flip it a few times and it'll be just like mine. Yeah, good stuff right there. Really like this knife. I hope they make more variations of the Ts301. Maybe I'd love to see it with some fat carbon instead of the micarta. Just do fat carbon all the way up. Tucson's never used fat carbon that I'm aware of. I've never seen any of their knives in fat carbon. Not yet, anyway. All right, another Tucson, the Ts116. All right. Oh. Smaller knife, thinner knife. Ooh. Ooh. Right off the bat, this reminds me of some of Justin Lundquist's designs. Or maybe even Ray Lacon. Oh, it is a front flipper. So you got a flipper. Ooh. What? Interesting. I can't flip it. I can. It's just, ooh. So this is probably gonna be one of those for me. That's one of Tucson's oddball designs. You can flip it. You got to get it just right though. Keep in mind, my finger is sore from this thing. This right here needs to be. When I get one of these, I will be filing or dremeling this down a little bit to make that edge not so sharp. Because it just tore my finger up, man. Okay, I think it was just a little stiff from sitting. Now that I've got the feel of it. Now this has a front flipper. It looks like it's a front flipper. Can I get it front flip? No, I don't think so. I think it's intended to be a front flipper. I'm gonna play with this one and see if I can figure out what's going on here. Because I just don't think you're gonna get the lever. Yeah. Okay. That is the Tucson Ts116, but I love the lines on this knife. The look of this knife. It's a sexy knife. More of like a, I would consider this to be more like a gentleman's carry knife. What steel is this one? M390. Another morning night design, dude. I love morning night. He has some of the most, I don't know, I like his designs, dude. I love his designs, honestly. I'm going to be playing with that one more for sure. See if I can get that front flipper figured out. Get the feel of it. I just got oil on my hands from that 301, I think it was, or no, that the other Tucson with the warning. My finger's a little oily. Ts305. Now, I know this one. I do know this one. I actually bought this knife from D-Win on eBay with the Ts300, I believe it was. 2 months later, still hadn't got them. Still didn't get them. I think after 10 weeks, he finally just gave me a refund. I don't know if they got caught up in customs or what happened, but they never showed up. Never got the knives. Man, that's heavy. Not heavy, but beefy. Ah, it's sandwich construction. No back spacers. Milled titanium, carbon fiber. Front flipper. Oh, now that's some good front flipping action there. Yeah. Pretty good jimping for the front flipper too. I wish they'd have brought it down a little further and back a little further. Just put a little more in there, but it's good. Reverse flick is good. Thumb flick is good. That's a big boy too. That's a long knife. Getting Gave you a little sharpening choil there. It's better than some companies do. Yeah. It's got a Spyderco-esque blade shape to it, I would say. I don't know, it makes me think Spyderco when I see that blade shape. Vertical grinds. This one's 14C28N. Belt satin. Huh. See, this is odd to me. So back here, obviously you can put your thumb there. It feels really good right there, right? Feels great in hand like that. But they put this little poon or whatever you want to call it, little ramp up right here for you to rest your thumb there. But man, I can't rest my thumb there. Maybe if you got extra large hands, you could. Because I need for me to get up there comfortably, I need to be up here. I would need a big finger choil cut out to get up there. It's a long knife, very long knife. Yeah, the full-size Orion, it's got probably over ½ an inch on it. All right, that's the TS305. Now, honestly, kind of glad it got lost. And that's not really my cup of tea there. A little big for me, too big. I wear a medium-sized glove, so that one's a little too big for my hands. Let's see here. Saving that one for last, I think. Yeah, that'll be last, that'll be next to last. All right. All righty. This is the Tucson Ts-216. Now that looks nice. It looks nice. I love the look of that. It's just a thumb stud opener. No front flipper. Although it looks like they probably could have made it a front flipper. Oh yeah, that's real good. It's got this like pattern cut on the top of that thumb stud. It's super grippy. But yeah, I prefer to push it from the side. But I can get it from the top. But that's super grippy jimping right there. And that blade just flies out. That detent's really good. Really good. What blade steel is this one? 14C28N, another Jelly Jerry design. Wire pocket clip, which is interesting. They've cut out into the scale and you hook it in there. Oh, there, I can see there is a screw inside going that way to the wire pocket clip. And, yeah, you couldn't reverse it, no. So it's righty only. Of course, with the thumb stud only being on one side, probably righty. Of course, lefty could always. Well, reverse flick it. It's got a good detent on it, man. That thing just flies out. When you break that detent, that blade's coming. I don't think you're felling it. It'd be difficult to fell this knife. I like the size of this one too. That feels really good in hand. Wire clips always feel really good in hand too. You know, hardly ever does a wire clip bother you, bother the ergos of a knife. Yeah, that feels really good. I like that one a lot. I like the darkened titanium also. And again, as always, Spyderco has, it's hard for me to get to show up on camera for some reason, but this is all micro milled, all the titanium is. Titanium backspacer, lanyard hole in the backspacer, pretty slick. All right, move on to the next one. We're at how much time right now? We're at about 20-minute mark, so I think I'm gonna make it at around 30. All right. Next up is the Tucson Ts128. Smaller one of the smaller Tucsons I've ever held in hand. Man, that's an interesting looking flipper. What's that say on it right there? 999. Is that, are these numbered by Tucson? See that? Well, let me close it. $9.99. I'm not sure what that is. I know it's got, excuse me, I know it's got a really good detent. Carbon fiber. Feels really good. Yeah, I like this. This is a cool little secondary carry. What do we have up here? 5? What's this? Oh, S90V. Yeah, I like the look of this one. Smaller, but I can get all 4 fingers on it. Actually, for being so small, it's quite comfortable in hand. Got really good action too, to be so small. And obviously, you got to shake it down a little bit. But again, I think a lot of these knives have just been sitting in his collection, boxed up and put away. So they're not getting a lot of use. I think almost all of these are that. Hardly any of them have even been used. So they're not even broken in, I would say, for the most part. Very interesting. Well, that is the smallest Tucson, other than my little fixed blade, little tiny fixed blade that I've ever held. I like it. All right, that was the Ts128. Next up, another Tucson. This is the Ts249. Oh, cut out for the, you see the blades there. Huh. I tell you now, this feels really good right off the bat. The edges, everything feels. As soon as I got it out of the bubble wrap and felt it, it's the first thing I noticed. Like, man, they did a good job chamfering everything. It feels really, really good. All right, what blade steel is this one? 14C28N, a Wong design. Excuse me. So we got a Wong and a Wang over there. A Wong and a Wang. I gotta grab my water. Life water with go-go juice in it. Mio Energy. I call it go-go juice. Strawberry pineapple Mio with caffeine. Because it's too hot to drink hot coffee. Could make iced coffee, but that's too much work. Yeah, this is really interesting with the cutout. That's done, I think, more for aesthetics than it's done for weight relief, but you get weight relief from it. The weird thing to me is that cutout, that lock bar is completely free. There's nothing else until back there. So it's different. Lock bar, I would think with it being that way, it'd be very light, but it's actually, you got to give it some effort and unlock it. Not bad, but I would expect it to be weaker than it is, I guess, with the way it's done, but it's not. It's actually quite stout. And the lock bar access on this one is great. And they've chamfered the edge down, so it's super good, super comfortable on your thumb too. Good size knife. 4-finger. Keep in mind with all these knives, I'm a size medium glove, so yeah, I can get 4 fingers on that easily. This has got good action too. Most every Tucson I've ever felt has good action though, so they do a really good job. Still, my opinion, best bang for your buck is Tucson knives. For the materials and quality you get, you can't beat the prices. I love Tucson. You know, there's probably some guy out there that has every Tucson that's collected all of them. They're up to like 400 now or so. So we're close to 400. Somebody out there has every Tucson ever made. Got in early and got a lot of them early at really discounted rates. They used to be a lot cheaper than they are now. They're still very good deal compared to other brands of the same that use the same materials, but you know, they used to sell for a whole lot cheaper. Inflation, it touches everything everywhere. All right, Ts128, Tucson Ts216, and there's another one in this package. Yeah. Again, the first thing I noticed when I pull this out is just how smooth everything is. Wow, look at those grinds, hollow grind. Got a little swedge up here. You got this vertical flat grind right here that merges into this hollow grind. Wiha design 040. So is this a numbered knife? And this is 14C28N. This looks like, with all these milling lines here and milled out here, milled out here, this just looks like something that's futuristic to me. And again, since I'm into anoing so much right now, I immediately look at this knife like, man, you could do some wild stuff with anodizing with this knife, using multiple colors. But I don't know if I would anodize this one. It's a big knife, to me anyway. It's a large knife for me, but it's comfortable, very comfortable. Oh, yeah, look at that action. Break that detent. It's got a detent ramp on it, I can feel it. No, it doesn't have a ramp. If it's a ramp, it's a very slight ramp. Whew. You see that? She's coming. Get out of the way. I don't think I've ever noticed this Tucson before online. I think I've ever seen it. It's very interesting looking. I like it. I love the blade, the grind lines, and the hollow. Nice sharpening choil there. Very good sharpening choil. It's almost like a Tonto, but I mean, you almost got a little point there like a Tonto, but not quite. I don't think you'd have to. Yeah, this side's a little more pronounced. See that? It's like a Tonto, but not like a Tonto. If that makes sense. Makes me think Tonto, but it's got a little curvature. It's not quite just an angle change. It's got slight curvature right there. And this thing looks like it has a mirror edge on it, man. This thing looks, I don't know if Craig sharpened this or if it came from the factory like this, but this thing has a mirror edge on it. Yeah. I don't know how well I can get that to show up on camera, but this thing is sharp as can be. And it's a guillotine, so. Very nice. Very nice. All right. The last two are not Tucsons. The first one is one I've been wanting to check out. I've almost bought it several times. Actually, when I bought the full-size Arion, I almost bought one of these instead. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And ended up going with the Arion. So let's see if I would have done better with this. This is the Fair and Forge Archbishop. Some oil up there. Where'd my microfiber go? There it is. Man, yeah, I should have went this route, I think. This is a little more expensive, but I can already tell you that this is much better ergos for my hands, without a doubt. And I love the big finger choil there. The jimping's just right for that grip. Stonewashed titanium. Tiny little pivot. I don't know, for some reason, I've never held one of these. For some reason, I thought this would be a lighter weight knife. It's not heavy, don't get me wrong, but I thought, when I look at it online, I thought pretty lightweight. And I would say it's probably around 4 ounces if I had to guess. close to 4, a little under 4, but yeah, feels good in hand. I don't think this one's been used much either. This one's a little, definitely needs to be broken in, I think, or maybe it just needs to be cleaned and lubed. Let's look at something in here. Yeah. I think this thing's brand new, honestly. I don't think he's used it. I think it needs to break in. It's got great action, though, deploying. It's got a really good detent, and how's the centering? Dead centered. And what steel is this? I don't know if it does it say? Yeah, I think it says right there. I don't know. I can't read that from where I'm at on the camera, and I definitely can't see it with my. I've got my glasses on. That is too small, whatever it is. Oh, CPM 20 CV. I could see it. Just needed a little help from the light. 20 CV. This is a comparison I wanted to do right here. These are the two that I was going back and forth with. And honestly, the look, I like the look of this one better, but the ergos, I can already tell you. The only problem with this knife for me is the ergos. This knife has much better ergos for me. Yeah, it's just contoured, a little wider, a little thicker, I should say, more contoured, rounded. These are just, this is just a very thin, sleek, very nice knife, but this one has better action. But I've flipped this a bunch, and I have a feeling this hasn't been flipped very much at all. The pivot feels a little tight on it, honestly, because, you know, it needs a lot of help to get down. And again, it could just be, I don't know the last time he lubed this or cleaned it, or if it ever has been, could be just been sitting in a box all this time. But the ergos on this, even back here, are great for me. But right there, man, that's the money spot right there. That feels really, really good in hand. Because you got my middle finger lands right there where the cutout is for the lock bar, which is my bad finger. And that's perfect. That's exactly how I would grip this knife most of the time. All right. That is the Archbishop by Fair & Forge. I like that a lot. A whole lot, actually. I know they make some, I think they make some micarta versions of this also, if I remember correctly, which would be interesting to take a look at. It's very comfortable in hand. I can only imagine with micarta, it would take it to the next level. All right, so this is a duplicate knife that I've already opened one of in box 1 from him. This is a micarta version of the AD 20.5. And he said this one's, because he knows my issue is how thin this is and how it hurts my knuckles. And he said that this is going to be, you know, pretty thin also. But honestly, I think it's the cutouts just make it, it feels better than that Arion does in my hand. But he said that with these micarta scales, they thicken it up to where it makes it feel more substantial. Oh, and this one's the shark's foot blade. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like this already. Obviously my finger's sore, so I like it, but with that shark's foot blade, it just looks good, and you know, to get down and utility cuts is going to be great. And it feels good with the micarta, honestly. It feels really good. This button just as sharp. Yeah. It's pretty sharp. But not actually. Yeah, this one's sharper. Something's different on this button here. I have a feeling, I don't know. It just feels a little sharper to my finger than this one does. Yeah, I can't wait to I'm gonna disassemble one of these. I want to see what's going on in there, how that spring is working, and I will, as Craig suggested, put it in a freezer bag before I take the scale off, so springs don't go flying anywhere. Since I haven't done it before, and I'm not exactly sure. I haven't watched the disassembly video on this either. I haven't watched hardly any videos on this knife other than JD for EDC. I've seen some, well, not really his videos. He uses them at comparison with the fat carbon scales. He has the purple haze on one of them. Man, it looks so good. But I don't want to watch a disassembly video before I disassemble it, because I wanted my disassembly video to be, you know, what it would be for someone else if they'd never done it before. See, look at that. Didn't cut me, but my middle finger missed. This one comes back on you. You cannot let your finger slide up. Got my nail, so it didn't cut through my nail or anything. It didn't cut me, but yeah. It's almost like an assisted open and close. You know? It feels like it's a, oh, as long as you get past, once you get past a certain point, it pulls itself open. Same with the close. Once you get, yeah, once you get to right there, that thing's coming closed. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. So different. But yeah, like when I just did that and I failed, I went to reverse flick and I didn't get it all the way. And for some reason my ring finger went up there and that thing came right down on my nail, but it did not cut me. Thank goodness. But this is one of those, you gotta really, you gotta keep your fingers out of the way. Because I love it. I love this thing. And this button is not a sharp, I don't know what you call that. The shark lock, I call it a button. I'm sure there's an actual name for it, but it's not as sharp as that one. And these are not, when I did the unboxing yesterday, these are not G10 scales. These are original goat aluminum scales. I thought that was aluminum yesterday, but I don't know if it's the coating on them or doesn't sound like what I would think aluminum sounded like. That's why I thought it was G10. They feel really good. I really like these scales a lot, actually. This one's definitely more comfortable. And with those, like he said, it thickens it up quite a bit. I mean, a whole scale. These are thick scales with a thick backspacer. So that's a lot thicker. I don't know how well I can get that to show up. Let's put that behind it. With those micarta scales, this is a much thicker knife by substantial amounts. So, which feels, for me, makes it feel a whole lot better in hand. Although this one isn't bad in hand, but it is not nearly as good as that. Plus this one's feels substantially heavier with the aluminum than, this one's thicker and lighter. I mean, yeah, this is the way to go for me here, for sure. Of course, I want some purple haze scales or some Arctic scales when I get one. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I've rambled on enough here. I'll leave those two right there. Thank you so much again, Craig. I will be doing some videos on some of these knives individually coming up. Obviously, I won't be doing all of them. I would have his knives for months, but then we'll pick out some. These two for sure. This one for sure. This one for sure. And there's several others in there that will be for sure. I would say quite a few of them. But yeah. And this one, once I get the right spot, this one right here, man, I'm in love with Swabs. I will be buying my first Swabs in the very near future. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to Craig for letting me check all these out. And tomorrow's the big day for the giveaway. So, guys, be around tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet. I think I'm gonna do it live though. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do a live stream and do the giveaways. I may even do a special little giveaway in the comments during the live stream. So yeah, be around for that, and I'll see you guys on the next one.